on Litecoin right now. We're back at $100. We're up 10.88%. There's a few key areas that I want to talk to you about, some things that I'm looking at, guys. So it's looking better here. We had some good volume come in on a bullish piercing pattern with tweezer bottoms about 2 days ago or so. So we're going to dig into all this. I'm excited to talk to you about this stuff, but we're going to have to see, because there's some key overhead resistance levels that we're dealing with now that we're seeing some profit taking with. Okay, so we'll dig into this. If you guys like these videos, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm excited to be here with you today, guys. So what we're looking at here, guys, we're going to start back at this green trend line. Okay, so trend line breaks, like we've talked about in the cryptocurrency space, typically can be anywhere from around 20 to 40%. So we're going to go from the break here when we first candle closed down below it, and that took us down about 38% right here. So that was from that green trend line break that we had. So guys, that's why I was harping on it for quite a while. If you go back probably about 3 weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks, you'll see that I was talking about this trend line break here for quite a while. Then we were talking about a potential pullback, which ended up coming. Okay, and these are the things that we want to anticipate and plan for. And then what we had was tweezer tops right up here. Now what we're looking at is this purple trend line that I want to drag down through here. Do you see this? Now this is our overhead resistance, this purple trend line. Now what I do like to see, the guys, that came in was the bullish piercing pattern yesterday right here. That's a strong candle with tweezer bottoms, and it came on volume with a stochastic cross. So those are all good things. What we're dealing with now is the 50 moving average over top ahead, the 20 EMA overhead, and the 100-day moving average overhead right here. You can see where we wicked up to it, and that's profit taking, and that was around about that 101, right in that range. But we're back within this red trend line, which is very important because this red trend line has been established, or it started back in February, early February, and right here pointing to it, guys, you can see we had a bullish engulfing candle off it right here. So this is a very strong one, and what happened was we fell through it. We basically came down here and got close to testing this 200-day moving average, and then we're back up within this now. So we have to pay attention to that, but really look at this purple trend line here, because we could just bounce up to this trend line and then start to fall back down here and see if we retest this 200-day moving average. But guys, right now we're just looking for that candle close up above that red trend line that you see. That's a big deal. If we can get back up above that, then we'll start dealing with these moving averages, but we need to get back up within that trend line. Now ultimately for Litecoin, what we must hold is the yellow trend line that you're seeing right here. This is our uptrend. So guys, we are still in an uptrend right now. This is a very, very deep retracement, but this is cryptocurrency like I've talked about before. You know, if you want these 50% gains, you're going to have to deal with the 50% pullbacks, and that's what happens. And sometimes, guys, you know, they can be these massive pullbacks, and then you continue to make higher highs. And to give you an example of this, right here, take a look at this move. Okay, so this is kind of similar. Do you see this area right here where we're moving up? It's kind of similar to what we're dealing with right here. And what happened was we went parabolic. So we basically went from about $45 all the way up to $98. Then we wicked all the way back down to this 200-day moving average at $33. And guys, that was my best buy that I ever had for Litecoin, was actually on this wick. I saw this big sell-off here, and I was able to get some on this wick down in this area. I put it at the 200-day moving average, and I lucked out and got a few there. And that was probably the best buy that I've ever had for Litecoin. And guys, put your best buy down low. I'm curious what the cheapest Litecoin you ever got. Mine personally was that $33. That's the cheapest I've ever got Litecoin. If you guys have gotten some of that 22 or even before that, put it down low. I want to know. I'm very interested about that, because I think it's very cool when people do steal those, because you think about this, guys. Look, it went all the way down to $32, and then in the next, let's see, about 2 months, we ended up going all the way up to $422 on a wick right there. That's how high and overextended this market can get. And what you see here, though, just to really zoom out and look at the long-term picture here, do you see that supply and demand shift, though, guys? Right here, how we're having those lower highs and we're having those lower lows, and now we're having higher highs, and we are still having higher lows. And you can see by right here, this is the higher low. Right from here, guys, this is what we're going to be looking at. So right down here we ended up getting to $64, and right up here we ended up getting down to $76. Now, it's important to see, like I said, where we end up closing today. If all of a sudden we see a huge wick in the next 2 hours or so and we're back down underneath the red trend line, that could be some trouble. But you know, we're at $99 right now. We're up 10%. That's a good thing. We got a stochastic cross on some volume. So upside targets, we're going to be looking at around 101. And then guys, probably around that 106 for the upside there, and we're going to have to see what we do with this purple trend line here. To the downside, we'd be looking around that red trend line again, guys, probably around that $95 or so we would look, and then ultimately down around where we had that bullish piercing pattern at around $78 is what I'd be looking at. So next, I just wanted to go through a few indicators with you here. So the stochastic's looking good. We're moving up right now, guys. We are coming up to a little bit of resistance. I like to play support and resistance on these right there, so you can see we are running into that right here where we've had it before. We kind of double topped last time, then we went down, so we need to break through that, and there is some room to run. So that's how I'll play the stochastic a lot of times as well. Next, I want to go to the RSI for us. And guys, if you smash that like button and hit that notification bell, the notification bell is going to get you whenever I put out a video, and I try to get 1 or 2 every day to you all, so it'll get pushed right to you hopefully, and you can see it. Because typically, guys, like right now, after I'm done with this video, I'll upload and send it out to you. So typically it's pretty, you know, in the same time frame for y'all. So I wanted you to know that. So RSI is at 43 right now. It looks like we may have a potential trend line break on the RSI, which is a good thing. Right here, guys, you can see we are slightly breaking through it right now, so we need a little bit more of a break here, and it's on volume, so that's a good thing there with our RSI looking decent. Let's check our MACD out. So now, guys, this time just to be cautious, though. You know what I mean? You gotta protect yourself all the time. Always be careful, both to the upside and the downside, and never FOMO. This is the reason we don't FOMO. We're up here. You can see these wicks right here, guys. This was a huge telltale sign right here. This wick here, and then we saw rejection again up here. It was like basically almost like a shooting star candle up there. We were seeing rejection. It was pretty close to almost a week apart, so it was kind of like horn tops. It wouldn't qualify because it needs to be exactly a week apart and the same exact price up top, but still, that's something that you want to pay attention to. And then we started to have that cross right here, the MACD. That was right up in here, and then we just got pushed to the downside, guys, and that's a huge percent loss there, and that's where you can protect yourself. I had my stop loss once we broke down through that trend line right in here, and then I said, guys, that's where I was patient, and I just stepped back, and I was waiting for another attempt to buy them cheaper. That's what you want to do. Hey, always pay attention to that. Protect yourself in this market. So it looks like we have a potential MACD cross coming here. Our histogram's ticking to the positive, so that is a good thing there. We want to pay attention to that, and then we'll hit our Bollinger Bands here. Take a look. And Bollinger Bands are just going to tell you when you're getting overextended to the upside, the downside. Right now, guys, you can see we were down out of the Bollinger Bands. If you can see the Bollinger Bands, I know it's tough to see this color here, but we snuck out down below them here with those tweezer bottoms, and we just started to get pushed to the upside there. So, you know, guys, those are the things that I'm really paying close attention to in these moving averages right here. They're acting basically as an overhead raging river. Okay, so this is important. We don't want this to just be another lower high. Do you see how we fell here, and then here was our high, then we fell back down again, lower high, then we fell back down. We don't want a lower high here. We want to try to get through this trend line and break up through it. But that still means zooming in here, guys, this is what I like to do. So zooming in like this, do you see this wick? That's the bulls trying to push up and profit taking happening, and that's at that 100-day moving average right there, which is still overhead resistance. And then there's this 20 EMA overhead, and then we have our 50 overhead. So the only one we're above right now is our 200-day moving average, guys. And see, this is that tweezer bottoms. Do you see in here while I'm in here tight for the people still here? Those there, that's an equal price. So it got pushed down twice when we saw the bulls step in, and then we got pushed to the upside, and it was almost a bullish engulfing candle, but it pierced up into more than half of this body here, so it would be a bullish piercing pattern because it did not completely engulf this body here. It's pretty close to doing so, but we are getting a little bit of follow through today, guys. You see that? And that's what you're looking for. So if you guys like these videos, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm going to try to get them out to you as much as I can. This market's very volatile, and like I said, that's why you have to protect yourself. You have to be cautious in this market. And remember, FOMOing most likely is not going to get you anywhere, guys, and trend line breaks in this market are extremely important. I mean, you can even see this going off the wicks right there, guys. See that trend line break? Just to give you something for people who are still in here with me, look what you could have saved yourself. Could have saved yourself there about 33% just from that trend line break alone right there. That's how powerful this stuff is. So if you guys like these videos, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I appreciate you being here with me today. God bless you all.